Hey guys, I've been working on this video for a while and I'm ready to share it with you. I actually am transitioning out of the military to civilian life, and the transition is a little bit more difficult than I thought. But I got some things in place and now we can actually do some things and move forward. So I have everything installed, it's ready to go, and this is the process on how I did it, and I hope you enjoy my new electronic. Oh, that is a big one though. Oh, that is a giant.
Oh my goodness, Daddy, help me.
Get it?
Bud, this is a cat here.
So we're gonna have to take this one off, which will just be pulling these out. So I had this cable just balled up and stuffed under here. And then I had everything running in here, but I'm probably gonna figure out another way to do this without putting all this in there with my battery, because I kept having a lot of disconnection issues in my videos. So I got all that out of there. Now, just gotta get the transducer out. So it looks like here to get this transducer off, I'm gonna take this side piece out. Then once I get that out, I can drop the transducer. And then I have 2 screws in there that I'll take out in order to get the mount off. So, okay, so it only looks like I gotta take out those 2 screws right there, and it should fall out. Okay guys, it is glued, which makes sense. I'm going to figure this out in a matter of time, so I'm gonna have to come back out and do this later. It's Christmas Eve and I gotta go to church. All right guys, I got the transducer out of there. I'm gonna flip the kayak and I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this mount out of here being glued in, so that will be my next step. All right y'all, I got the kayak turned upside down. I'm not sure if y'all can see, there's a lot of glue in here, down inside there, and I just got to get this mount out. So to work on that, see if I can do it without damaging my kayak. All right, y'all, with a little bit of patience and some free bird playing in the background, I was able to get that off. So now we'll get this cleaned up, save the mount. Now we can actually sell this other electronics to somebody else, which is good. We'll get this all cleaned up. All right guys, I got it all scraped out, cleaned up. I'm gonna back these screws out of here and reseal those from, I guess, a previous transducer that was in there. And then I'm gonna fill these and get that cleaned up before we put the new one in there. But let's go ahead and reveal the new electronic that we're gonna put on here. All right guys, so I just did a whole reveal of everything that was in this box, but I have my mic too far away, so I'm not gonna put it all back in and redo it. So just being a new video creator, it's just things that I'm learning that I need to fix. All right, so for my kayak that I'm still working on, I bought the Hook Reveal 7 with the downward imaging and the 2D that you can do side by side. This also has mapping, and I can actually put waypoints and those things on this where I couldn't with my original electronics. So everything that came with it. So this is my power cable for the electronics. This is the mount for the actual transducer. I have these accessory pieces, so if you were doing additional mount on here, you can have the screws on there. I will not be using those, so I'm just going to click those in. Have the mount for the electronics, and then the screws to hold that in there, so that way when I'm not using it and I'm got my kayak in my truck, I can take it off and lock my LOWRANCE up. But here it is. This is the screen. All right, and this is the reason why. So I'm gonna grab my old screen, set that next to this to let y'all see why I'm upgrading. So this does downward imaging and it does 2D, but you can only do one or the other at one time. This one I can do downward imaging and 2D at the same time, and it's a larger screen. I can actually see those little dots better than I can see it on this. So I look forward to putting a bigger screen on there. And it also came with the transducer cable, which is here. All right. One good thing that I did realize is that it looks like the old transducer holder is going to match up with these screws. So that's the less screws. Screw holes I got to put in my kayak. I just got to figure out ways to patch this and make sure I don't take on any more water as I'm out on the water. All right, so I actually got some bleach and cleaned this out real well. And as you see, I have 3 holes that I have to patch. And then I'm going to use these original holes to hold my transducer in. So what I got was this. So some marine weld, okay, made by JB Weld. And we're going to try this out. We're going to put this in and we're going to put some screws in those holes and hope that holds it. So let's do it. Oh yeah, I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I did get that JB Weld in there. I put in 3 bolts with that in order just to make sure it sealed a little bit better. And then I was able to go in and put this transducer in. On the perception, it looked like these were built in, so it was actually made for transducer mounts. So that was really easy to install. So yep, I got that in there. Now it's moving on to try to figure out how to mount the actual electronics. Okay guys, so I've been looking at it. So this is the old mount for my other downward imaging. And this is the new mount. It looks like I can get the new mount on there. Still have plenty of room to mount it, that kind of thing. Of course, the many holes there's in this dry box may not end up being able to stay a dry box because of these screws. But I think I'm gonna take that risk. Just mount it there. I was thinking about bringing it up closer to me so I could see it a little bit better. But really the difference between, here and right here isn't that big of a deal. And then I was thinking about my casting and bringing fish in. I really don't want anything else up here in my way. So I think I'm just gonna remount it here, and that's gonna save me some additional money from getting a different type of mount. So we'll try it out and see what happens. All right guys, I got all this cleaned up. I'm gonna put my bracket there. Then I got thinking about needing to set waypoints and mark brush, rock, that kind of stuff. So I need this thing closer to me. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go get on the internet and see if I can find something that'll bring this closer to me without actually putting more holes in my kayak, and get this thing set up where it's more functional and not in my way when I fish. So we're gonna pause right here. I'll be back soon. Guys, I don't talk about it a lot on my show. You may have heard me mention it every once in a while, but I am a small business owner in Monroe, Louisiana. I own All-Star Trophies and Awards. I did get on the internet, like I stated, and was able to find a piece that I needed in order to make my kayak work. But instead of doing that, my wife, Cassie, and I came across a place in downtown West Monroe called Ouachita Paddle and Provisions. They opened in November of 2024, and they sell the high-end kayaks, and they sell the accessories and things that you need for those kayaks. They also sell a lot of things outdoors, whether it's water boots, apparel, things that you can actually buy in there. Really nice family that runs the place and a nice staff. I enjoyed my time in there and talking with all of them. And they're planning to do a lot of things here in the community as far as putting on some fishing tournaments and kayaks and that kind of thing, which I'm excited about. And hopefully I can get in on some of that action. But thank you to Ouachita Paddle and Provisions for allowing me to shop there. I got the piece that I needed to fix my electronic on my kayak, and I was very grateful that I got to spend that money right here in my hometown with a local business owner. So. I'm gonna let y'all get in here and see this. So I noticed that with this, I can click it and I can lift it, this little button here, and move this anywhere I wanted to. But I was having issues with it actually tightening down. So I found where you can pull this out, it slips off, and then this piece on top, which I'll show you, actually unscrews, and then you can move it, do whatever you need in order to get this off of here. And then once you get it in place on that railing system, you just tighten this down and then slide this back over and lock it in place, and then it doesn't move. What I'm noticing so far though is that this, with the mounting plate on there, plus this LOWRANCE mount is gonna be too tall. So I think I'm gonna have to take this piece off and then just come in with the actual mount and put that on there. Another thing about this universal mount is it doesn't come with pre-drilled holes. So what I'm gonna have to do is actually put this mount on here, mark some holes, get my drill out, and make sure it fits my mount. So we'll work that next. So I have the holes drilled. Now let's see if I can find the bolts to install the mount. Let's get that mount on there. So I can't find my bolts to mount my bracket. I can't find my box either, which means during all the Christmas gifts and all the boxes and everything, I threw the Reveal box away. My electronic came in with all the bolts with it. So, we'll be back. I gotta go buy some more bolts. So dumb. Yeah. So my grandfather and my father aren't two men that like to throw things away. So, because of that, I inherited that trait. And I just went through some of my stuff, and I think I have enough bolts to actually do this to where it'll work, and I'll be happy with it. So let's get back to it. And yes, in case y'all are wondering, my wife hates that I have that trait too. Okay, we got it on there. We just got to run the cable and stuff to it. And yeah, I'm getting excited. I'm gonna have to adjust it more when we get out in the water, but that's gonna be awesome. Okay, so I put the cover on it just to protect it while I'm messing around doing stuff. Put the cables in. What I decided to do was go down, zip tie the cables here. That way when I disconnect this and put the electronic in my vehicle, just to keep it safe when I have my kayak in the back of my truck, I ran the cable under the paddle holder and then through here, and then put one screw hole in my kayak. So I'm gonna try this before putting any other screw holes in there, okay? I'm gonna Velcro my transducer wire under here, and then what I've decided to do is I'm gonna go ahead and leave this box as my battery box, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all this connected and hooked up. So that'll be the next step. We're almost done, y'all. I actually ran everything like I said. And then inside this box, I have my electronics ready to go. So I got everything connected properly, all that. We're about to battery in. Make sure this connects well. And then we are gonna check this electronic, make sure we're good to go. Make sure we're in frame, and then there we go, guys. We have our new electronic. So you know what? I don't know if we're gonna mess around with that here. Why don't we just wait till we get to the water? Hey guys, we finally got it all installed, which is awesome. Now, I've never winter fished, and it's winter time. It is now, I think, January the 25th. I haven't been able to fish for a little bit, and normally I don't fish in winter time at all. But I have this new electronic. I want to catch some winter bass, and I'm just going to take my kayak out this week. We're going to put it in the water, and we're going to see if we can catch a winter bass, and hopefully catch a good one. So stay tuned in next week when we release another video of hopefully me catching my first winter bass and seeing the electronics do everything it needs to do to put me in the right spot. Thank you for watching. Everybody say hey to my daughter.